My name is Alexander Woltin. I used to be a student here in Hannover at this university. I studied English and biology to become a secondary school teacher. After I completed my university career here in Hannover, I went to Kassel or to Hessen in Kassel, the city to be more specific, and did my teacher training there. Afterwards I came back, and ever since 2010 I am a secondary school teacher for English and biology, and I also have a lectureship here at this university within the field of teaching English as a foreign language in the field of didactics. Well, it certainly has been, or was, a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I would say. I certainly do believe that I improved my language skills. Since you are surrounded by the English language the entire time, you somehow have a language bath. You kind of emerge into the language. You are surrounded the entire time, and you do learn lots of words you probably would not have acquired within the school setting. I know, speaking about kitchen utensils like a whisk, for example, those are, I think, very important things. You get to know, like, real world language, so to speak, and not the language that we teach in school settings. Also idioms, idiosyncrasies within the language, all these things you do learn. So I would say language-wise, I did improve dramatically. And speaking about cultural competencies, more certainly if you live in a culture and with people from different cultures, you acquire a lot of, or you gain cultural competencies like, negotiating meaning. I mean, in America there are lots of different people living together, and everyone has got different perceptions, and to negotiate these perceptions is quite something, I would say. So it was language, culture, and professionally.
Yeah.
Well, for my career, this exchange also has been a benefit, since I do believe that I know what I'm talking about when I teach students. I know about certain things in the language, difficulties in the language. I know slang expressions. I know certain expressions about kitchen utensils and so on and so forth. And I also have a kind of awareness how words might be culturally loaded if we talk about denotative and connotative meanings. Yeah, I don't know. Or even if we talk about, holidays in the States, I think it's more authentic if you can really share with them your experience that you have gained abroad. Mm-hmm. So positively speaking, I think there were more positive aspects than negative aspects. However, needless to say, if you live in a different culture for a very long period, you do have to adapt, not even though we believe that the American culture is very close to our German culture, there are lots of huge differences that you have to cope with, be it how to deal with conflicts, for example. And those are things you just have to adapt and cope with, I think. And those are, of course, then things that might be partially negative. First of all, I could certainly imagine going to the States and working there for, again, another longer period of time. However, since I've already been a couple of times to the States, I could also imagine going to India. I think the Indian culture is very fascinating and very different to what we know. And I could more certainly imagine staying there for some time and do what I can, so teaching English as a foreign language, but also, of course, to explore the culture and culture specific things. I believe that is a very difficult question to answer, because it depends on the personality. It's a highly individual thing how long it takes until you really dive into a culture, I would say. you know, first of all, everything is like new and exciting, and you are kind of like very excited about everything, and then at one point you start to like, you know, have some challenges where the adaptation starts, and oh no, well, the alienation. Well, first of all, you have the alienation where you feel kind of strange, and you know, you lack a sense of belonging. But then comes the point where you kind of start to adjust, and I think that highly depends on the personality. So if you're an outgoing person, you will probably easier adapt to new cultures than if you are a very introverted person. Well, they are of utmost importance. I mean, you as a teacher are a language model, and since you're a language model, you're also a culture model, so to speak, because the culture goes hand in hand with the language, and the language goes hand in hand with the culture. So I think it is very important to be quite competent in your language skills, and also within the field of culture in general. Because then what happens is everything is more authentic. You know, you can teach beyond the textbook, so to speak, and I think that is important, and that makes your lessons more interesting, more motivating for students, if you like, you know, can share some cultural insights.